Love Stinks is not only the name of one of Jay Giles' biggest and best songs, it's also the name of a kind of forgotten 1999 film. The protagonist of the film is French Stewart. Now, I've been watching Third Rock from the Sun as of late. Like, I used to watch it every now and again when it was first being broadcast normally. But, it was like how many years ago? So, when it's like a couple months ago when I started to rewatch Third Rock from the Sun normally, it was of course, loved the show. But I'll admit, French Stewart, I never really I don't really think that French Stewart gives a good performance in Third Rock from the Sun, because him squinting his eyes and puckering up and purposely sounding really, really dumb. You can tell he's just trying too hard to actually get a laugh. Nothing about his performance as Harry Selman is very natural. And yeah, I'm sure that French Stewart, he's done some really good performances elsewhere. And when Love Stinks came out in 1999, it was the height of Third Rock from the Sun, and I was kind of hesitant about seeing a movie that stars French Stewart. But I'll admit, I thought that French Stewart in this, he actually gave kind of a good performance, because he plays just a normal guy. So the movie deals with French Stewart playing this successful TV writer and producer, and he's fixed up on a date with this woman who is played by Bridget Wilson, and they're together for a little bit, and almost right away it becomes Stewart becomes really, really pussy whipped. Now, yeah, there have been a lot of cases of the woman dominating the man, like in real life and in films. But this movie kind of takes a little bit more of a realistic and a bit more of a darker, and some would even call it a bit more of an exaggerated approach to this. Yes, Bridget Wilson, very, very beautiful in this, heavily domineering in this, and yeah, French Stewart, he's just fine in this. But after a while of her being such a bitch to him, it almost becomes unbearable, because she's so cruel, so controlling, so manipulative, so abusive to him, and it does become kind of I don't want to say it's cringe to see throughout the whole thing, but when you see such cruelty throughout such a film, the movie's not even that long, but it feels a lot longer because she's so mean in this. And yeah, eventually it does become kind of a turnoff, and the black comedy that's presented eventually just becomes too unbearable to see in some people's eyes. But he's pussy whipped, he's in denial, and will he eventually get married to her, cave in? Maybe. Have to wait and see. The performances by Wilson and Stewart, I would say that they are good. Bridget Wilson simply gives probably the best performance of the film. When I was watching it, it reminded me of a movie that I grew up with from the early 2000s that was a bigger film, called Saving Silverman, with Steve Zahn, Jack Black, and Jason Biggs. Except with Saving Silverman, it's so goofy and so over the top that it kind of makes for, I guess you could say it's a more pleasing experience, because it's even more ridiculous than one might expect. But with Love Stinks being a little bit more realistic, maybe some people would find Love Stinks to be less of a pleasing film. Because yeah, sometimes with films, the more realistic something is, the more it stings, the more it hurts. Yeah, I can totally see where that stuff would come from. But aside from the fact that the movie is pretty realistic in its pain and delivery, I just didn't think that there was enough power, enough oomph behind everything to really catapult the extreme brutality of toxic relationships well enough. So maybe if they were to remake the movie with like a big Hollywood film or like an A24 production, maybe it would be better. But yeah, when I was watching this one, didn't really care for it. So I'll give Love Stings from 1999 2 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.